You generally always get the "where's the flux capacitor" joke, and at least the nice thing about driving the time machine is you can say it's right here, unlike the stock car where you get, yeah. I had many DeLoreans and I fixed a good number of them. And Ken always had the only time machine in Ontario. He sort of had a monopoly on doing all the events, and he'd always include all of us to go and do the events with it. But there wasn't any drive for me to really have my own. When he went and moved to Miami, he said, "You're building a time machine to take my place." And I'm like, "No, I don't think I am." And the wife loves doing the Comic Cons and stuff. She's not super huge on the rentals, but the Comic Cons she really enjoys going to. And she also said, "Yes, you're building a time machine." So it's like, okay, the car that I had just finished nut and bolt restoration on, I was going to sell and I was planning on buying a Viper. Now I kept, and it's now a time machine. So it's been great, and we love doing all the events, raising some money here and there. So I can't really claim to have been and done all the research to figure out what these parts are. I've had lots of help from good people. I've spent lots of time digging through all their homework to find the right stuff. Yeah, I can't say all the research is mine, but my car is turning out to be quite nice, I think. Up in Canada, we do $3.50 an hour plus $5 a kilometer to get there. Now, sometimes, depending on what kind of events we're doing, we'll do day rates, or it often depends on, like, sometimes on the Comic Cons, we'll go and collect money through pictures and stuff. And then a lot of times we end up donating most of that. But a lot of the corporate events and stuff like that, you can take some of that money and put it back into maintaining the car and building it better each time. I actually do drive it a fair bit, probably put a few thousand kilometers on it a year, not as much as I'd like to. I used to drive them when I worked sort of north of the city. I could do a nice drive, 80 kilometers an hour up the 2-lane highway to work, but now I work right in the city, and the last thing I really want to sit in traffic in on the way home is a time machine. It's a lot of fun, but if you're in a hurry, you don't take that car because you end up talking to everyone at the gas station, and like driving down the highway, you got people taking your pictures and swerving into your lane, which is great. It's like, yeah, I'd love to pull over and let you take a picture of the car, but I'd rather we don't smash into each other and then pull over. Right now, I have the crash car at home that me and Ken got, and then I've got my 83, which is all blown apart right now. It's going back together. It's a full restoration on that. And then the time machine is a running driving car, but I don't think they're ever really truly finished. They said, I believe it was just a little over 9,000 that were built. And at one point, the going number was about 6,500 still on the road. I tend to believe it, and it seems like we're gaining more cars through barn finds and restorations than we're ever really losing. So they've been come to the point where there's not really parts cars anymore. They're just about everything's getting fixed unless it's burnt right to the ground. There's so much availability for parts, and the market's gone up so much that it's not worth having a parts car anymore. My 83 was absolutely terrible. It was cut off from the back window to the back, like it had a sheet of plywood there. I took another rear body that was burnt in the front, and we mated the two bodies together. That's all finished and nice. I just got to put panels on it if I ever get time to work on my own stuff. You generally always get the "where's the flux capacitor" joke, and at least the nice thing about driving the time machine is you can say it's right here, unlike the stock car where you get, yeah, all the questions about what's some of the pieces, and a lot of things we get is it a kit car? And I've never really seen any DeLorean kit cars. I get the "is it real" one from the movie, but no, I'm not driving around in a several $1 million car in small town Ontario. I've done 7, I think, frame off restorations, and majority of those were crash cars. I worked on Ken's wreck. I bought a T-boned car, and then my 83 that was crashed. And then I also fixed another car that was just rusty. We had found it in a barn in Tennessee. It was a decent car, but had a rough life. I've worked on 10 or so cars at least that we've done a good full restoration on. There's been little bits that we've worked on different people's cars here and there, but major restorations. They used to say there was around like 120 time machines. Lately, the numbers seem to be going up. If I was going to guess, and I don't really have any good firsthand knowledge of it, but I'm going to say there's probably about 250 time machines at least, I would say now. A lot of the purists on some of the builders groups know what exactly is perfect and this color wire is supposed to go here and this one's there. But at the end of the day, most people on the street, it doesn't matter whatsoever. Like one of our friends, the haulers, their car has a lot of mismatch pieces that he built as sort of like an art project, if you will. And they're not necessarily right, but they look the part. They're having lots of fun, and everyone around them's having great fun. So it really depends what you want out of the car. There's some guys that are going for the close detail, and I'm trying my best on my car as I can, but I'm not going to go out and spend $3,000 on a part that I could probably do for a couple $100. Now, I'll probably put that couple $100 part on my car, and when I find a good deal on the $3,000 part, yeah, I'll get it. But it's fun no matter what you got on there. It's probably a car that's going to stay with us for a long time. I'm not sure it's a forever car. There's lots more cars that I'd love to have and only so much garage space. But I have a feeling at least our time machine's going to stick around for a long time because we have a lot of fun with it. I didn't buy a Viper. I was shopping for Vipers right before COVID. Then the prices went through the roof and I just haven't brought myself to doing it yet.
Right now, I want you to click the link in the description below to find your next car on AutoTempest. Whatever it is you're looking for, AutoTempest is the most powerful way to shop for your next car. They compile all the results from all the major listing sites into one place, and now they've got a new feature that I love. You can see all of the historical price changes that a car has had since it first showed up for sale online. That gives me more power to be an even shrewder negotiator, understanding exactly how desperate the seller probably is to get rid of this car. So check them out now at the link in the description below to thank them for their ongoing support of VINwiki and find your next car on AutoTempest.